the game is just different now, man. I feel like, you know, people don't care as much about producers.
Hey, yo, Ease.
Hit Boy was recently on the Breakfast Club, and he spoke about how producers aren't respected. And it got me to thinking, because it's sad that a person like Hit Boy will be in certain positions considering his resume. If you harken back to maybe 15, 20 years ago, a producer was making top level producers. You can Google this stuff too. The Pharrells of the world, Timbaland, Dre, even Swiss Beats, if I'm not mistaken. 6 figures per track. And the respect dwindled. And I get it, some people like to blame the labels, and they played their role, devaluing the music or the importance of the messaging and just focusing on the economic benefit. But I'm gonna talk about something that we can control, which is the fact that producers didn't respect themselves. What am I talking about? I'm not talking about Hit Boy in particular, but I'm talking about, it was a point in time where music production became so accessible, in the sense that you didn't have to spend much money. You can go get Fruity Loops, which it was called back in the day, now it's FL Studio, for probably less than $100, or you can just burn it. And you can create music, all right? Now, when that started happening, everyone became a producer. Just like 10 to 15 years prior to that, everybody was a rapper. When that starts happening, now everyone wants to, quote unquote, get on. And when people want to get on, what are they willing to do? Whatever it takes, musically. So now you have individuals at the time literally spending day and night in the crib chopping up samples, making beats, mixing their own joint because they don't have their own engineers, mastering their own joints because they don't have their own mastering engineer. They don't have the resources. And now you're leasing beats for $25 in hopes of someone purchasing something, and you'll get on. And this went on for quite some time. You can go back and Google some of these sites where you can lease beats or buy a beat for $100, or even communicate with someone via email that you've gotten through YouTube because you heard a type beat, Nas type beat, Jay-Z type beat, Pharoah Monch type beat. The list goes on and on. You like the beat, contact information, and you contact them. And you can purchase the beat or lease it. How do I know this? Because in full transparency, I played that game for a little bit, and I realized early on that it wasn't something that I wanted to do, because it was devaluing the very product that I like. If I go spend 2 racks on the drum machine, how many beats do I have to lease before I make my money back? And I'm not leasing to people who are on. I'm leasing to people who want to come up just like me, or selling $100 beats or $300 beats here and there. But here's the thing. Now we get into exclusive rights, because if you lease the beat and then that beat turns out to be something, or a quality song, who am I to say that you have to double back on the payment? It was an exclusive lease between those terms, probably a year or so, 6 months, whatever it is. It was just so much gray area, and producers did that to themselves, or I did it as well. But a lot of people still haven't woken up from that experience. They're still doing the same thing, devaluing the music. The whole Dat Piff era, free mixtapes. Writers wasn't getting anything from that. And if you were up and coming artist, how did you benefit from that? We've been conditioned to think that you got to give everything away, even your art, just to be seen and get put on. But this is a hip hop conversation, because it's rare that you hear about other genres complaining about production or producers not getting respect. Go to Music City, Nashville, country music. You don't really be hearing no producers talking about they devaluing the music. You gonna pay that price? That's what it's gonna be, because the resume states so. The product states so. The integrity states so. Urban music is where these problems arise. It's a dirty game. And here Hit Boy is, what, well over 2 years, 2 decades into his career, and he still got to deal with labels releasing records without his permission. In what world is that okay? Nasty work. So yes, the labels, they on demon time. They're after economic prosperity or revenue or just not going into the red. But producers, we gotta do better, because this is not the past tense. A lot of this stuff is still going on. Know your value, figure it out what it's gonna be. But even then, are you doing split sheets? Because if that record blows, are you gonna get your publishing? It's so many different things that go into play when you cut corners early on. That's why you have so many producers upset 5 years into a publishing deal, because you take the upfront money or you take what is deemed to be something great. And then in hindsight, when you look back, you're like, yo, that's nasty work. So yes, the solution is producers, do your due diligence. You don't need a manager and audio engineers and things of that nature out the gate, creating expenses. But what I will say is that know your value, make it make sense. Yes, labels aren't your friend, but you can't be your own enemy. You're coming from an individual who knows. I done did the beat battles. I've done the beat leasing. Not long though, caught on early. I've done the $100 payments, $300 payments as far as selling beats. But in the long run, what does it mean? The goal is to build a discography, right? Not to give the work away for free and have an artist discography continue to balloon and they feed their families for generations. And all you got to do, all you have is conversations or stories about who you worked with while you work 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense. So that's just my rant for the day. Know your value, man. Know your value. There's many different strategic ways to go about doing it as far as production goes, getting yourself out there, or even challenge yourself to do different types of music. Music licensing, try to get sync placements, whatever it is. But just listening to that Hit Boy conversation on Breakfast Club, that little segment, which I'll put at the end of the video, made me think about that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. It's your man Ease Experience. Remember, you can achieve anything in this world through sheer hard work and patience. God is the greatest. Go get your share.
The game is just different now, man. I feel like, people don't care as much about producers, you know what I mean? Even just like that, it's like me doing my own music and wanting to like push my stuff forward. It's a lot that's like that goes into that. Like, I just had a song drop last Friday, right, with Tia Kareen and Jid that I produced. Made the whole beat by myself, beat crazy as hell, energy. And I didn't know the song was dropping until I looked on Twitter. But my lawyer and my manager was reaching out to the label like, yo, we supposed to get primary credit on this. We supposed to get our payment taken care of. Mind you, the song came out, I still ain't even been paid for the motherfucker, you know what I mean? Even though it just came out, but still, it's like, that part of the game, I feel like producers are the most disrespected, like, period. You know what I mean? Like, I might do a song for somebody, they can go take it on a whole tour. I ain't even got my fee yet. I ain't even got an upfront. It's measly, my nigga, compared to what y'all out there making. But I'm trying to break down that. I'm trying to like get more respect put on producers' names. And I know we got people that's pushing in Metro, having successful albums. There's a lot of people that's doing their thing. Mustard going crazy, being on the Super Bowl. Like, that's good looks. It's like, but I feel like it's still a lot of respect that we don't get put on our name.
Hey, yo,